With all the website builders available today, should you be using WordPress in 2025? My name is Lamar Lang, and I want to give you a quick review on WordPress and my experiences with it, and if it makes sense for you to be using WordPress in 2025. If you're not familiar with WordPress, you should know that it's one of the most popular website builders out there. I think it holds somewhere around like 43% of the websites on the internet use WordPress. So that's what, approximately 800, 900 million websites out there that are on WordPress, which is astounding. So from that point alone, yes, like it's stable, it can be very secure, it's easy to get started, and it's relatively easy to scale to, a few hundred thousand visitors. But if you go higher than that, that's a different conversation. Not to say that WordPress can't do that, but it will definitely require a lot more complexity on the back end. So yeah, WordPress, 43% of all the websites on the internet. You can't argue with that, right? It's important not to confuse WordPress.org, which is a content management system, and WordPress.com, which is like a blog hosting service, right? So if you want to do the maximum customization, manage a large content management system, so like a blog or any type of content that you need for your business, WordPress.org is the way to go. Now, if you just need a simple blog, then you can just jump on to WordPress.com and set that up really easily. WordPress started as a simple blogging platform back in like 2003. Since then, it has become a content management system and an application development framework. In simple words, you can easily build any type of website using WordPress. WordPress is open source, which means it's free to everyone to download and install. So that like free platform that it starts with by being open source is super valuable, and it goes to show how much support is already out there for WordPress. So if you're thinking of like Wix, Shopify, Framer, Webflow, if you're thinking of Weebly, Squarespace, like if you're thinking of using any of those, WordPress is probably the best option if you want something as affordable as possible to get started. So yeah, what kind of websites can you make with your WordPress, right? You can start a blog, you can make a simple business website, create an online store, build a membership site, sell online courses, run a marketplace, make a social media site. It's like no matter what kind of website you want to build, there's possibly an existing WordPress plugin that can help you do that. So what are plugins? Plugins are essentially little blocks that you can build on top of your website, right? So just imagine you have access to your WordPress site, and now you want to maybe create a login system. You can find a plugin for that. Maybe you want to allow users to post their own content. There's a plugin for that. So literally, no matter what you want to do on the internet, you can stack plugins and make a super custom WordPress site. So before you start working with your WordPress site, before you come back to WordPress, I think it's important to see like what is the current state of WordPress, what's going on in the community, and where it's going. So let's take a few minutes to go through the WordPress.org homepage. Meet WordPress. Hello, WordPress. The open source publishing platform of choice for millions of websites worldwide, from creators and small business to enterprises. So I'm sure you fit in this description. You can design on WordPress, you can build on WordPress, and you can extend. So that goes back to like, how it works. Create your content, design add-ons, design, build, extend, right? So see what's new, what's going on in the WordPress space, and let the newly structured style book help you get the best view. Okay, so new styles, discover WordPress 6.8, a release polish to a high sheen. Okay, sheeny. WordPress 6.8 polishes and refines the tools you use every day, making your site faster, more open source, and easier to manage. get WordPress 6.8. So you can download WordPress and run it locally on your computer before you even upload it to a host, right? So, and that's another cool thing about WordPress. You can essentially get the whole package on your computer, run it for free before you even spend a dime. Let's go back. So the style book, I guess, is this new thing, and I'm sure this is because like Framer, Webflow, there's a lot of like platforms now that are like marketing heavy. Like, oh my gosh, you can make the most amazing designs here, and if you're design focused, then this is the web platform you should be using. That's kind of the sales pitch, but I think it's just a little bit misleading because there's a level of complexity no matter where you go. And I've used every single one of these platforms for my clients. And when you get into customizing things, there's a level of complexity that if you're a business owner, if you're focused on growing your business, getting leads, doing all that stuff, you do not want to be spending all your time here. But if you have someone to spend some time there to help you build that, the ROI is going to be through the roof, right? So editor improvements, yeah, more in the design. Near instant page loads, thanks to speculative loading. What's that? In WordPress 6.8, pages load faster than ever. When you or your user hovers over or clicks a link, WordPress may preload the next page for a smoother near instant experience. The system balances speed and efficiency, and you can control how it works with a plugin or your own code. This feature only works in modern browsers. Older ones will simply ignore it without impact. And that's, when you think of like, let's say you have a global business, and let's say you're in like your business can operate in developing markets. They may have older devices. They may not have the latest devices you may find, let's say in America, Europe, in the West. They may have less resources. So using WordPress essentially allows you to ensure a decent experience no matter where your website visitor is, or no matter what browser or version they have. So yeah, I think this is pretty cool. Older ones simply ignore it without any impact. So I think that's cool. Stronger password security with Bcrypt. Stronger password security means stronger site security. Yeah, that's always great. Accessibility, performance. So performance, in my opinion, with performance, I think it's most customizable in WordPress. The other platforms are not as customizable when it comes to performance and accessibility at scale, in my opinion. Now, don't get carried away with plugins when you set up your WordPress site, because this can be a drain on your performance, and then you'd have to optimize from there. But, if you know what you're doing, I would load up the plugins on the front end and optimize and like incrementally optimize for them to work, and then pull back if there's issues, instead of like customizing everything up front, because all that customization is going to come with maintenance costs. Accessibility, 100 plus accessibility fixes and enhancements touch a broad spectrum of the WordPress experience. This release includes fixes to every bundled theme, improvements to the navigation menu management, the customizer, and simplified labeling. The block editor has 70 improvements. So yeah, if you're one of these institutions that are big on accessibility, have to be like 100% compliant with accessibility, I think WordPress is a good way to go, because not only can you do it yourself, there's a lot of companies that have plugins that specialize in this to help you, stay compliant. Take a load off databases. Ooh, I want to see what's going on here. Work continues on optimizing cache key generation and YP query class. So this is more of a technical situation. But essentially, the goal is as ever to boost your site's performance in the case by taking some more of the load off your database. It's especially good if you get a lot of traffic. So this is 9 times out of 10 going to be handled by your host when you go live. You're probably not going to ever see this unless you're really digging in the WordPress backend. Oh yeah, thanks to over 900 contributors who made this release. Yeah, so it's open source. So if you're wondering where these 900 people came from, they're probably people, some maybe work for the company that made WordPress, and just regular people who enjoy WordPress and like to code and stuff. Okay, so let's check out the showcase. So what type of websites can you build in WordPress, right? We talked about blogs, we talked about e-commerce, we talked about news sites, regular business static websites, and WordPress does a good job of showcasing everything. So if you're familiar with like Tonal, for example, Tonal is like this home workout setup that LeBron is a part of, and like they have a lot of big sponsorships. So it's an enterprise level company, right? They're managing a lot. They're managing a lot of traffic. They're managing probably a lot of sales. So let's check out Tonal. With an inspirational online hub for its home fitness products and services line, the Tonal site makes the case to prospective customers that it's an all-in-one digital strength training system. Well, okay. So let's check out Tonal. With an inspirational online hub for its home fitness products and services line, the Tonal site makes the case to prospective customers that its all-in-one digital strength training system will help them get fit and build muscle from the comfort of their homes. Yeah. So what's that bike company called? I don't know. Peloton. It's like Peloton, but I guess resistance training. So let's check out the website. Tonal.com. Loaded really fast. Very vibrant pop-up. So this is like your traditional e-commerce style website. Save today, product page, and I'm sure you're familiar with this layout. So that's another thing that you should be aware of. All these web builders essentially are designed to do the same thing. They are designed to, and specifically these custom, so you may be able to get a template that looks like this. They're all designed to look halfway decent, and then the complexity comes in when you're customizing. But yeah, this is your traditional e-commerce site. So if you're in business and you wanna sell a product and you like the way this looks, you like the way this feels, WordPress is definitely for you, for sure. What else we got here? Rolling Stone. I'm into music. If you're into music, music content, music blogging, WordPress has a proven track record of scaling music blogs. And Rolling Stone, I guess you'll call it a magazine or whatever. What do they call it? Renowned for its content covering music, entertainment, pop culture, and even politics. Rolling Stone is not just another news publication. It's considered among the best in its class of journalism. The online version offers a clean and contemporary build to complement its legacy print publication. So if you want your description of your website to say something like the online version offers a clean and contemporary build to complement its legacy print publication, WordPress is probably for you. So let's check out Rolling Stone. Yeah, and all that was fancy way of saying this is a music blog. So, if you want a music blog, entertainment blog, just imagine your content in these little components. So it doesn't have to be music. It doesn't have to be entertainment. It could be your product. It could be your podcast. It could be your cat sweater company. It could be your boiled eggs and pickle jar company. Whatever, you know. It could be literally anything. So yeah, WordPress is, you know, still relevant, still a major hitter. Rolling Stone, we just checked that out. Time, NASA, Microsoft, Harvard. Let's check out Harvard. I wonder, can we find it in here? Let's see. Harvard. Harvard Community. So let's go here. Harvard.edu. Yeah. So if WordPress is good enough for Harvard, it's good for you, right? You know, it's supposedly one of the best schools in the Western Hemisphere, if not the best. They run on WordPress. So yeah, if you like this, if WordPress is for you, definitely jump in, get started with WordPress. It's super easy. And if you need any help, any advice on WordPress, any guidance, feel free to put a question in the comments. I try to get to everything. This is actually the first of many related to WordPress. So whatever you comment, I'll probably try to do like some type of tutorial on, or just touch on it, because it can get complex, but it's very easy to get set up. Brought to you by Copiafy.com, the all-in-one platform for private financial management. Copiafy is an all-in-one platform that puts your financial goals, bills, and disputes in your control. Take charge with tools built for clarity, collaboration, and progress. Check it out at Copiafy.com. Start free today.